What's going on, everybody? It's Kevin Trades here from Stock Hours, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a video of the 5 things that I learned trading in 2024 that I'm going to bring into 2025. Now, the first lesson that I learned was learning to be selective. Now, what do I mean by being selective? Being selective means there might be a really good setup right here, and then there's a very good setup right here. Now, you need to learn to pick which one has the highest probability of working out for you. Know what works best, what has the highest probability, and then step away from the trade that doesn't have as high of a probability of working out. Now, it sounds a lot easier said than done when it comes down to it, because some days you might have 2 to 3 A+ setups lined up and you won't know which one to pick. So I'm going to give you guys an example of something that I learned specifically during this month. It was actually during last week on Monday. I actually had about like 4 A+ setups lined up for me. And it just so turned out that the one setup I took out of all 4 of them happened to be the red trade that I took, right? And why was that trade the red trade that I took? Out of every single trade, out of the 4 setups I had, that one trade I picked was a red trade, leading into a negative P&L result, right? And the reason being is because of comfortability, knowing where the probability lines up for you. In trading, the odds are always going to be against you. So it's up to you and it's your job to flip those odds into your favor, right? So from last week, an example, basically I had Apple lined up, I had Meta lined up, I had Google, and then I had another stock. I'm not too sure which one it was, right? But Meta, Apple, and I think the last one was Tesla. But anyways, Meta, Apple, and Tesla, right? And then Google. Out of all 4 of those stocks, the most comfortable stocks I'm comfortable with trading are Meta, Tesla, and Nvidia. So why did I pick Google, right? If I had all these opportunities lined up for me, I should have put all of my focus on the stocks that I performed the best on, which was, for example, Meta or Tesla. Right? So why, even though Google had an A+ setup, did I take Google when I'm more comfortable with these other stocks and I know that statistically and historically that they have a better chance of working out compared to a stock like Google, which I trade like maybe once every 2 months, right? So that's a part of being selective, right? And also a part of being selective is also learning to grade your setups. This ultimately depends on past historical data. So if you're a newer trader, you might not have access to this yet. So you're just going to have to keep on taking trades. But yeah, over time, as you keep trading, you'll be able to learn which setups you perform the best at, right? And then which setups you perform the worst at. And it's up to you to be able to go through that entire list of setups, grade them, see what you do best on, and focus only on the good trades that you perform best at, which is what we call A+ setups. Right? That is called being selective. So on to number 2. The second lesson I learned is that you don't have to make money every day. When I first became profitable here in Stock Hours, I could even show you guys the P&L calendar, but I literally had a green day every single day for the month of May and then 2 weeks into June. Right? And like having that mindset, I thought I was invincible pretty much. I was just like, wake up in the morning, let's make some money. You know, Monday I'll make money, Tuesday I'll make money, Wednesday. I basically thought that this was just an ATM where I could pull out money for free. And that's just not the case. Yeah, I went on a winning streak, which is great and all, right? It was the start of my profitability, but when it came later down into this year, I got humbled, right? I took a couple losses and then I let it get to my head, right? So when it comes to trading, this goes along with being selective, like I just talked about earlier, right? It's up to you to put the odds in your favor. Notice how I say odds, meaning probability, right? So each trade and each setup has a probability chance of working. Just because they're high probability chance of working doesn't mean that you're going to be making money essentially every day. Now, if you can do that, obviously that's great, but it's just not realistic enough. Us as traders will have green days, we'll have red days. We might even have green day streaks. We might even have red losing streaks, right? But that is uncontrollable to us because as long as you're being selective, you really have no control because ultimately the market relies on probabilities. So if you have the mindset of trying to make money every single day, you're not in the right headspace to be trading. The thing you should be focusing on every single day, the mindset you should have when you wake up at 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is not to, okay, let's go trade and make some money. It's, okay, let's trade today, let's follow my rules and call it a day there. Which leads me to lesson number 3. No one trade should make or break you ever. Never treat a trade like it's life or death, right? I'm pretty sure lots of us traders always have this feeling where we have to make this trade work. We must make this trade count. But that's not the case, right? Like I said earlier, everything depends on probabilities, right? So a lot of the time, us as beginner traders, newer traders, when we receive a losing position that we enter in, we'll try to do anything that we can to make it work, which is not really the case because the market is going to be the market 100% of the time. You can't control that. The only thing you can do is control yourself. So what do I mean by control yourself? Don't overtrade. Don't revenge trade. Don't average down. Don't oversize into your trades. And the list goes on. Like I said, no one trade should ever make or break you, right? It's take one trade, move on to the next. Take one trade, move on to the next. Don't treat this one trade as life or death. Lesson number 4, the market is always right. No matter what you think, no matter how good you think a setup is, even statistically proven that it's 90% win rate, whatever, you need to realize that there's always that 10% chance or whatever it is statistically that you are going to lose that X percentage amount of times. Right? So out of 20 trading days, if I have, for example, a 2-to-1 risk to reward system with a 60% win rate, 12 of those days, statistically, I should win in the month. 8 of those days, I should be taking red trades, right? So no matter what you guys do, the market is always going to do what it wants to do. It could be the best setup ever in the entire world. It could have 10 confirmations, which probably literally never ever happens to any trader in this world. But even with so many confirmations, the market will find a way to prove you wrong, right? So it's your job at the end of the day to be a good loser and to be able to say, okay, I took this trade. It's in my favor. It's high probability, checks everything off on the checklist. But I got stopped out. It is what it is. The market is always right 100% of the time. It's time for me to walk away and take the next trade. Which leads me to lesson number 5, the last point of this video. After every single lesson that I've told you guys about, the most important one, it's not trading. It's not your trading psychology. It's not whatever. The list goes on. It's journaling. If you can't keep a track record of what trades you're taking or what your emotional performance is like, your position sizing, these setups that you're taking, you can't really make it far in trading, right? It's like trying to drive on the road with like a blindfold on. Like it just won't work. In order to progress in the market, you need to be able to look back and reflect on the mistakes you're making, even if it's a green trade or even if it's a red trade. Trust me, I know a lot of the times that when we take a green trade, we think we did nothing wrong. But there might, and I'm not saying that there's always going to be something wrong when you take a green trade, but a lot of the time when we take green trades, we think we did everything right, which in reality, we probably didn't do everything right. There might have been one small minor mistake that we could have done better in our trades, right? And this also applies to red trades. If you're not journaling your red trades, you're done, honestly. Because if you don't track the performance of your losses and your wins, statistically, you have no edge in the markets, right? If you have an edge in the markets, as long as you can have that, you will be profitable in the long run, right? But if you can't even get an edge, which everybody obtains from their journal in order to become profitable, you're never going to end up becoming profitable. So it's very important that you guys are journaling every single trade that you take and just keep track of literally everything. Keep track of the setups you're taking, keep track of your emotions, keep track of the market sentiment, keep track of the trade rating, as in the trade grading, like A+, B+, whatever it is. Was there market divergence? What was my entry? What was my exit? Was there high volume? Was there low volume? Was I trading in the morning off the open? Was I trading at 12 p.m. right when there's literally no market participants in the market? Right? Like, these are things that everybody needs to take account for. And if you guys can really just learn the 5 things I just talked about in this video, it'll set you up for success in the long run. Now, just by watching this video, will you become profitable tomorrow? No, absolutely not. That 1 trade, 2, 3 trades is not going to define you as a trader. What defines you as a trader is how consistent you are on a day-to-day basis throughout the entire year. But yeah, that about sums it up for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Stock Hours YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.